Have you ever wondered what really goes into creating that perfect, eye-catching social media post for a hotel? Turns out it's a ton of work. But what if you could just automate it all with AI? Well, today we're going to break down a really cool capstone project that does exactly that. So take a look at a pretty standard travel post. Can you tell if a human wrote it or an AI? It's getting harder and harder to know for sure. Crafting content that feels authentic and engaging is a massive challenge, but like we're about to see, AI is completely rewriting the rules. Okay, so first, let's really set the stage and talk about the core problem this whole project is designed to solve. And that is the relentless daily social media grind, especially if you're on a marketing team in the hospitality world. This slide just perfectly captures the old school chaos. I mean, imagine you're the marketer. You're manually digging through websites. You're sifting through endless photo galleries. And then you have to try and write every single post from scratch. It is a slow, repetitive grind that is just impossible to scale across different platforms, like Instagram, Facebook, you name it. And what's the result of all that manual labor? Well, more often than not, it's slow, generic content. You end up with these captions that just don't really connect with anyone. You get posts that say, "Enjoy our cozy rooms," for a picture that clearly shows an incredible ocean view. That disconnect, it just kills engagement. But what if there was a totally different way to do it? This project introduces the solution, an AI system that basically acts like a content factory. It can take one single link and turn it into a whole batch of unique, ready-to-publish social media posts. And the core idea here is something called an agentic content factory. The best way to think about it is like a car assembly line, right? Instead of one person trying to build an entire car by themselves, you have a line of specialists. In this case, each AI agent has one specific job, and when it's done, it passes its work down to the next agent in the pipeline. So for the user, for the person actually using this, it could not be simpler. You give it one thing, a hotel's URL from a website like Booking.com. And what you get back is pure gold, a whole set of social media posts with captions that actually understand the photos they're being paired with. So, how does this all actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at this agent assembly line, because this is where the real innovation is happening. This whole assembly line is made up of 4 specialist AI agents, and each one has a very clear role. You've got the scraper, the researcher, the art critic, and finally, the copywriter. Let's break down what each one of these does. All right, first up is the scraper. Using a browser automation tool, its only job is to go to that Booking.com page and just gather all the raw materials. The hotel's name, the description, and of course the links to all of its photos. It's the agent that's collecting all the puzzle pieces. Next, the baton gets passed to the researcher. This agent is like a little detective. It uses Google search to find the hotel's own website. It's looking for those key details, like the brand's unique tone of voice and a specific list of amenities, adding a really crucial layer of context you'd never find on just the booking site. Okay, now for my favorite agent, the art critic. This agent uses a super powerful image analysis AI to literally look at each photo. It identifies objects, scenes, and even text, and then it creates these descriptive tags like ocean view, private balcony, or swimming pool at sunset. This is the step that makes the final captions so incredibly specific. And finally, we get to the copywriter. This agent takes everything that's been gathered so far, the hotel description, that brand voice, and those super specific image tags from the art critic, and it feeds all of that into a powerful large language model. This AI then crafts a unique, compelling caption and some relevant hashtags for every single image. So what's the actual end result of this whole assembly line? Let's talk about the real, tangible impact of this multi-agent approach, because this is where it gets really impressive. Well, the bottom line for any marketing team is a massive, massive boost in efficiency. The source material estimates this system can make content creation up to 10 times faster. I mean, that's an absolute game changer. And this slide just perfectly illustrates the difference in quality. On the left, you've got that typical, boring, generic caption. But on the right, you have the AI-generated post. Because that art critic agent actually saw the ocean and the balcony in the photo, the caption is specific, it's evocative, and it's way more engaging. That is the image-aware difference. So when you boil it all down, what's the ultimate value here? Well, the system lets you do much better visual storytelling. It keeps the brand's tone of voice consistent because it learned from the hotel's own website. And maybe most importantly, it produces captions that are grounded in the reality of the image, not just pulled from some boring old template. Now, it's really easy to look at this and just think, okay, that's just a really fancy, clever prompt. But it is so much more than that. Let's talk about why this multi-agent architecture is such a fundamental leap forward. To really get it, you have to look at how this thing evolved. It started as just a basic idea for a post generator. Then, a website scraper was added for context. Next came that crucial image vision piece. See, each step added another specialist, which made the whole system smarter and more robust. This quote from the project's documentation really just says it all. The magic here isn't in one single clever prompt that you send to an AI. No, the real power is in the system, the collaboration between these specialized agents that can use tools, handle complex steps, and build on each other's work. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. This project is so much more than just a tool for hotel marketing. It's a blueprint. It really forces us to ask, what other complex jobs, from scientific research all the way to creative writing, could be broken down and run by a specialized assembly line of AI agents? The possibilities are just fascinating to think about.